quite a bit on the board today because I want to finish this up with these little things that don't really make that big of a difference, but it can help you better pronounce Spanish correctly. So, let's look at the first thing that I have here. The hard C is the k, k, k. It's a sound that's in the throat, k, not the C sound like it's in the face, but the C sound that's in k, right? And sometimes it's called the hard C or so the K sound. Okay. Now, if you have the hard C in front of the soft vowel E or I, or in Spanish, A or E, right? Then that hard C in writing is transformed into the QU. That QU allows you to keep that k, k. Otherwise, if you put that C in front of the soft vowel E or the soft vowel I, it'll take on the S sound. It'll take on the S sound. And sometimes you don't want that S sound, so you put the QU. And this is especially true when you have verbs that end in se, e. Well, déjame hacerlo en español porque obviamente quiero hacerlo en español. C-A-R. For example, acercar. When you want to put this in the subjunctive, therefore that AR verb becomes like an ER verb, then that C has to be transformed into a QU. This is especially true when you have the CR verbs in the subjunctive form, and the CR verbs, CAR verbs, not CR verbs, CAR verbs take on the ER ending. So, acercar, acerqué, aplicar, apliqué, buscar, busqué, justificar, justifiqué, roncar, ronqué, tocar, toqué. Okay? So that's especially true when you're talking about the subjunctive. And I would say also the past tense form of the yo, no? Okay, no me acerqué, no? Acerqué. Yeah, I would say also the past form yo when it's a, aste, o, amos, aron. I'm talking about the endings there. Okay, now, let's say you do want to, the H is not pronounced in Spanish, but you do want to get that sound. I talked about it briefly on the first video, but let me give you more detail. When you want to get the aspirated H sound, that sound, and it's in front of a soft vowel. This is why it's so important to understand what vowels and consonants are. The vowels are A, E, O, U. The consonants are all the letters that are not A, E, O, U. To get it in front of a soft vowel, that H sound, you can either have the G or you can have the J. Here's an example. General, gente, girar, genio, fingir, girar. That's with the G. With the H would be eje, eje, ojeado, deje, utra. Oh, I always pronounce this wrong. Always incorrectly. Utraje. I don't know why I want to say ultra. Traje, you know. Okay, y traje. I always do this. Always. I don't care how many years. All right. And I knew I was going to do it on the video, and I said I'm going to put it there, make myself say it correctly. Well, of course I didn't say it correctly. You know, obviously, right? All right, but now, if you want to get that aspirated H sound in front of a soft, in front of a hard vowel, A or O, right? In English, A or O, there's only one way you can do it. You can only put the J, because if you put the G, then it's going to have a hard sound. Okay, so it's mojar, ojo, piojo. You know, you have piojos all over you. Make you scratch, okay? Jota, be careful to pronounce that correctly. And finjar, right? Finjar. All right. Now, let's say you have an X. And a lot of us Americans pronounce the X incorrectly in Spanish because there are two rules. Rule number one, if the X is before a consonant, then the X takes on the sound of the S. So before a consonant, the X takes on the sound of the X. Exponer, extrañar, y explicar. And I think, even though I try not to, I think I pronounce it in the throat, like you do in English. But try to pronounce it better than I pronounce it if it sounds like I'm pronouncing it incorrectly. It's exponer, extrañar, and explicar. I can remember being chastised in Mexico. That's not how you pronounce that. Don't pronounce it like that. You pronounce it like in English. You sound like a gringo. Well, I am. I'm an American. But I did try to pronounce it correctly. Okay. So, if the X is in front of a vowel, then the sound is KS. So it's existir. My pronunciation is not the best. Exacto y exultar. Okay, sometimes that American pronunciation comes out more than I would like it to come out. Okay, now, a couple more things. If you have the letter N, that is, you have it written in, but it's before the consonant B, V, or P, this is B chica, B grande, B chica, or la P, right? The N takes on the M sound. The writing does not change. It remains an N in writing. But to make the pronunciation smoother, it takes on the M sound. So it's investigar, input, imbuir, invocar. Okay? It takes on the M sound, but it does not change in writing. Couple more things. If the R is the first letter in the word, I have first word in the word, but it should be the first letter in the word, the R is pronounced as if it were R. So it's re. That's a little bit too much. You don't exaggerate it so much. Ropa, real. And a word that I don't pronounce very well, reina. Right? Which I think I am, la reina. All right. One more thing, and this is very small. In the word, in English we say September, and September, we don't pronounce the P in English either. The P in Spanish is silent. So you don't say septiembre, you say septiembre. And that P is in English is silent. And we should understand that because we have a lot of silent words in English, silent letters in English. So let me do this really quickly before my time runs out. Hard C in front of soft vowels E or I. The C is transformed to a QU, so you can keep that hard sound, and that is especially relevant in the subjunctive form of verbs that end in CAR. Aspirated H, you want that in front of soft vowels, yes, in front of soft vowels E and I, you can either use the G or the J, depending on how it's spelled in the language. You just can't pick how it's spelled, okay? But in front of the hard vowels A and O, then it's only the J sound. The X in front of a consonant, the X becomes the S sound, not written but sound. And in front of a vowel, the X in sound becomes the KS sound, but never written, it's the sound. The N becomes the sound of the M in front of B chica, B grande y la P. Investigar, imbuir. The R as the first letter in a word becomes ropa real. I love that. And in septiembre, the P or the P is silent. That's it for pronunciation. Go to istudyguides.com. Go to my other sites, download my cards. It took me years to make them because I believe that people have the right to learn a language. And a lot of people can't because they don't have the money. Now, everything that I do is not going to help you learn English, but if you know a little bit of English or you know a little, because I do English tape videos too, and you know a little bit of Spanish, it may be one part that can help you become fluent, or at least understand why certain things are the way they are. English and Spanish are becoming the necessary, the required language in the United States, and if not, in the world. So my little bit might help. Everything is free, right? Okay, this is Coralla Ficklin McLean, iStudyGuys.com. Or you can put my name into the search engine, Coralla Ficklin, and you can, when you look on the page, you see my name, and just put after it in Google, Coralla Ficklin grammar, Coralla Ficklin how to write an essay, Coralla Ficklin irregular verbs, and all my stuff will come up. You'll even see some of my old videos where my hair, my dreads are all over the place, and I have piercings. Those were my younger days, okay. Not that much younger. I was only about 5 years younger. Okay, thank you.